Hey, it's Jim. I'm just going to do a mid-garden summer tour, and here we go. So back here are the some tried maples I put together in a little pot, little flat, little forest group. See what happens. Over there, the gardenias. If you saw my gardenia air layer video, the gardenia air layers looks like they've all taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like they've all got new growth. They've all taken. So 100% success right there. There's a crepe myrtle that I brought back from the dead. And I was twisting that up. You can see, and put it over a little rock. Just, I don't know. I had a bunch of crepe myrtles growing together. I figured, see what would happen. All right, over here, just got some other stuff. I've got a Ryerson maple, which again, I think I talked about that before. I don't really like it for the bonsai, but you know, down here is the Acer palmatum, so I'm taking that last little bit off. I think a previous air layer I took off right there. I've got some more air layers I could take off of here. I could take one here, I could take one here, but I'm a little impatient, so I'm gonna take it here, and then after this all gets reestablished, I'm gonna take those couple off, and then I'll leave this one right here. So I'll have the one I took, this one, this one, this one, and then the original Acer palmatum at the bottom. So out of this one, I definitely get at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonsai. So pretty good deal. That thing cost me $90. So pretty good. I'm gonna walk around here to this back area where I have some shaded protection for. That's the rest of the gardenia. So you can see here is where I took all that gardenia in that previous air layering video. So I'm air layering this next portion of the gardenia, and then that's uninteresting because it's all straight. So I'll just cut it down the bottom. So that's that. And then this hibiscus, which again, I air layered a bit here before, which I can show you later in the tour here. And then I'm taking this guy off right here now. And so that's gonna, when that comes off, take it there. Again, straight part's uninteresting, and I'll take it off down there, and I'll get a bonsai from there. We'll see what a hibiscus bonsai looks like. I'm not quite sure. And we'll walk around here. You can see my sort of garden trees there. That's some sort of a tea tree. Not entirely sure what it is, but it's kind of neat. I've been pruning it like a garden tree. And crap loads of crepe myrtles around here. One of these tea trees that I've been sort of sculpting. Took an air layer off of that was protruding sort of from here out into the path back to the hose bib, so I took that away. That's back there, sort of a little nursery area. It's shady. There's a sprinkler back there, so not a very good nursery. You see there's some dead stuff back there, but some of that's experiments. I just sort of stick in, see if it grows, but if it doesn't. We'll come back here in the back. And here's the garden bench and stuff. So you can see here, here's some stuff I think I mentioned before on this garden tour. I'm gonna have to get through the weeds here, but there's that. Interesting, I'm not quite sure what that is. Just off the top of my head, I know what it is in general. Somewhere I know what it is, but and then here's that unknown, I think some sort of Tamukiyama or something, I don't know, but you can see there I'm air layering that off now that it's got some good growth. So we'll take that top bit off, and then of course it's done on Acer palmatum stock. This is the one I got for $25, where the guy said if it doesn't take, he'll give me my money back, and I said no, I'll take a credit, which clearly it took. So we're not worried about that. So let's start over here. This is sort of a area, hodgepodge area. These are all sweet gums or sugar maples that grow around the property, and I just take up seedlings and I twist them up, give them just different shapes, and then grow them on and see what happens. So this is just where I put cuttings and clippings, and I have the automated sprinklers now, so this is nice. This is a boxwood. Yeah, Ilex beehive that I have. Sorry, I'm self-filming, obviously. There we go. And a couple of, like there's a Precumbrans nana down there. Again, some more cuttings. There's a crepe myrtle over there. Some of my Japanese maples. Again, just in development. Coming through here. The Langersorum or whatever that's called. Okay, just sort of take a look. Lots of summer growth. Regular watering. This is my area back here that looks a little disheveled, but these are the I don't know, boxwoods or Japanese, the boxwoods, or I don't know exactly what they are. Again, off the top of my head, my neighbor was getting rid of these 4. Well, he's getting rid of a bunch, but I grabbed these 4. And then I planted them here because it's real sandy soil. And just gave them a good prune. This was over the early summer. I'm sorry, late fall, winter. He was digging them up. And you can see how super interesting the bases are. And they'll get some amount of bonsai out of those. They've all looked, when I first got them, they were bare as bone, like inside there like that. They were all bare. So just shows how amazing it is when you just, they were probably 5 feet tall. Just lop them down and they'll bud back all the way back. So there's lots of opportunity here for these 4 crazy trees. When I finally get these out of here, I can probably separate them into different pots and things like that. So over here I got a couple of blackberries and blueberries. The blueberry I'm really growing. I'm interested in making this into a bonsai, so I'm just really clipping it as a bonsai. So I got some blackberries here. Birds mostly get them. If I can get out here quick enough, I get some. Same with the blueberries. And you can see I got the sugar maple all over the place. So here's coming around here, a compost pile. And this is where I keep the sort of nursery things, things I need to keep a better eye on. This is a local maple that I purchased. It's a, you can read that, like Cottermine or whatever. It's a local to Georgia here. So, and there's a Acer palmatum there. And that's coral bark maple. This is a Kojo no Mai Fuji cherry. And here's another. This was a Tomukayama over there that I air layered off. Again, I don't really like those, but I bought it because it had down there is a good base of Acer palmatum. So we're just growing this on to thicken up that trunk, and this will get pruned off. And then this is some sort of a crepe myrtle. I forget the brand, Firestorm or something. And then some other air layers that I put in here. Some sort of a cherry that's out front that I've air layered there. And some other things that I've got here just buried. After they've taken, the roots have taken, I put them in a hole, and sphagnum moss, and just a nice easy growth system. Obviously it needs to be weeded, but and then the automated sprinklers here again. So anyway, we're gonna come up here to the bench, which is a total mess and clod. I've got some muco pine here that I'm trying to, looks like maybe it's recovering. Had a mess here with this thing, but hopefully, I mean, it's a mess. It needs some work, but pines really give me a lot of trouble. Another Langersorum, whatever the hell that thing's called. There's another juniper that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. I'm just going to take an air layer off there, and then I think I have my main tree come here with this. I'll figure that out, but and then we'll have this guy as maybe a cascade or something. So, and then my Japanese larch, 1, 2, 3. These are some, I think, loblolly pines that grow here. These grow all over the place. You can see. They get kind of big, but they grow all over the place. There'll be 100 seedlings if I let them go. And yeah, so I just twist them up in interesting shapes and put some wire on them, and we'll just let the wire dig in and hopefully make some interesting crusty bark and see what happens. Again, I get thousands of these things. Coming over here, up on the bench, that's an air layer that came off somewhere, I forget, but it's long rooted. You can see it's in some sphagnum moss and bonsai soil. And then some others, just some Acer palmatums, and again some loblolly pines, a bunch of Chinese elms that I just started pruning up here recently. Some root cuttings of Chinese elms here. The root cuttings are probably 80–90% rooted, and so you can see instant little trees. Just by when you root prune, you can bury those roots in the right direction and roots down, or fine fibers down, and then they'll grow. Obviously got some weeds going, but anyway, take those out. Those are all Chinese elm up there. Those are some lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. There's some cuttings from my tropical, and I don't, name will come to me. I swear I'm having a little brain fart right now. So Chinese elms, here's a little Alberta spruce that's going. I don't know what to do. Not good with pines, not sure what to do with pines. Here's a lot of cuttings of my Afras, the jades, mini jades, you know, just getting those rooted. Again, some more sugar maples going here. Here's a bunch more. Oh, this is that crepe myrtle. I think I mentioned I had a crepe myrtle air layer. The first air layer I took of that crepe myrtle. This is here. You can see here's a whole bunch of new growth. So that was in my area over there. So now I potted that up there, and then it's going good. And then this is, I think I mentioned on the front, when I said remember I said I air layered there on that front tree, this tea tree. This gets really pretty pink flowers, and so we'll see what to do with this eventually. Maybe air layer it there and then take it off all the way down to here and regrow it. Not quite sure. And then a whole bunch of trident maples. Again, I mentioned I had gotten a big tray from a fellow I know in Savannah, Bill, and I broke those apart and potted those up. So those are there. And again, automated sprinklers are lifesavers. Ficus, that's the name I couldn't think of. Sorry, ficus. Oh, Jesus, my tropicals, ficus. Jeez. Anyway, here's another little area over here I have going. You can tell these right here. I forgot to spin these too, so I got some dead spaces. So I gotta probably put those out in some more sun. I turned them around, but it just shows you I gotta pay more attention to things that are out of the way, and automatically sprinkled can just sort of lose track of them. A couple of trident maples that I have going. Just a trident maple seedling. Another one that I haven't spun around. These are, I have azaleas on the property. So these had ground layered. So when I found them, I just cut them up and put them in pots. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. This is my Mongo crepe myrtle. I have that crepe myrtle air layer video that I showed you. And you can see that this guy, even when I trimmed it down, way up there. Then it goes way up there. And clearly it's doing just fine. This is all brand new. Okay, and we've even got bud back here on this super old wood. Look. And so this thing's probably 15 years old. It's a good, I mean, thick as your palm. 5 inches probably. So that's going great. And so in the future, we'll take that off here, get a bonsai there, we'll take it off there, so that that's the bottom of the trunk. So it's, I mean, it's, crepe myrtles do this when, if you're not careful, because they do this kind of thing. So if you're just growing them in your yard, you don't care about these lumps, but I will try to make the best of this lump and make it the base of my tree so I can get a thick, and then come up from here probably, and then just get rid of all that, or maybe take an air layer up there. And then I'll stub it down here somewhere, maybe like here and here, and have a bonsai about this tall, about 2 to 3 feet tall. So yeah, crepe myrtles are like weeds down here in Georgia. They grow everywhere. And then there's the air layers of the different coral bark and Acer palmatum that are in there, in the spangle moss, and some with some bonsai soil on top. And there's a azalea that I dug up out front. I just dug that up and put that in that mica pot. So that should be pretty cool one day. Come up on the back porch. Here are just some cacti over here. And some mint that I let go. And then just kind of a cutting area. Things that I can keep a better eye on. It gets some afternoon sun, not too intense. And right now it's about, I don't know, 6 o'clock. So it gets some good evening shade. So we got a lot of different varieties. I like to mess around with a lot of different things. Got a sclifera, a lot of jade. Even some China doll. You can see, here's a little bit bigger jade going on here. I gotta get at that before it digs in. This I made for my mother. Let's get that. Give that to her eventually, probably. So that's one of her David Winters cottages in there. So anyway, it needs pruned up, but and then some little shohin ones. And then there's that gardenia cut off. I'm sorry, hibiscus. That's a hibiscus. That's that hibiscus top that came off. So you can see, obviously that's got new growth. In fact, I just put that in that bigger net pot today, yesterday. It was in a smaller net pot. The roots were growing through. There's another ficus cutting. So there's a little crepe myrtle seedling there. So you can see just different things going on here. I got a false cypress here that's kind of a little bit interesting. Or will be, perhaps. That's a sacrificial, I think. Probably more like that. But anyway, just some other jades. Some more. These almost lost in the winter. These were really badly frozen. So some of them didn't come back. And then some of them did, little stubs. And then they just started growing. Okay. There's one of my main ficus. See, these little loblolly pines just grow everywhere. So I just leave them. And then eventually I pull them out and put them in a pot and twist them up. There's pretty interesting. I keep saying one of these days I'm going to carve that, but I'm going to carve it. Some tea trees. Again, these things I just got from Home Depot for 10 bucks. Figuring, I don't know, somebody will buy them one day. Another ficus. Here's an interesting dwarf boxwood. It's pretty nice. Obviously needs to be pruned up. I'm pretty fond of these little making little landscapes with different material. So here's one I just recently put together last week sometime. Just with some different material that creates a little variety. Again, I'm thinking of the future, somebody will be interested in that. Okay, there's another, that's a Sangokoku, I think it is. Another Acer palmatum. So you go around the other side. So now around the other side here, And a lot of jade. Jade's easy to grow. One day I'm gonna have a little place where I can sell these things, and that's easy to grow, and they're dime a dozen on the cuttings, and give them a year or two and they'll be sellable. So that's a good situation. Here's a little landscape I did with some China doll. Got a little hut there. It needs a little more interest, but it's all right. And then the same thing here. I'm just letting these grow to get a little more thickness to those branches where it comes out. So yeah, so that's it. Oh no, let's go inside. Let's go inside on the porch. So we're going on the porch here. Just a couple little things we put together. I got some Scopharia cuttings there, and a little lantana that I'm trying to grow from a cutting. Don't look at the mess. Some more of those David Winter's cottages. Anybody wants to buy those, let me know. But I figure I'll put them in landscapes. They don't have a ton of value, so a couple of orchids, and then little things I put together. Some cuttings there, and then here's one we just did for my daughter today, my daughter Quincy. Some others I put together this weekend. Again, those are cuttings right there, but when they grow out, they'll be nice. Here's a little Enoki cypress. A little trouble with it. I think I'm having trouble getting the water right on that. It was browned up, and I think I hopefully got at it. I slip potted it a little bit and dried it out, so hopefully I can get at the. I think I was not watering it correctly. I was over watering it, so I don't know. They're tricky. I heard they were tricky, but they really are tricky. So hopefully I can get that water right. It's kind of cute. And then a couple of things that I put together there. There's cuttings. Just little succulent gardens, or whatever you want to call it. Just trying to work on the craft of selling one day. All right, so there you go. That's a garden tour, midsummer garden tour. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a good day.